Okay, hi! My name is Nicolas Schneider. I will do a talk about how at our school game we share tools on different projects at the same time using the most of Unity editor. I'm, as I said before, Nicolas Schneider. I work at Old School Game companies based in Lyon. I started in 2020 as a gameplay programmer and I mostly do mobile games. I also changed job 2 years ago to start working as a tool programmer. I was, I think, the first one in my company to have this title. And I work mainly on Valiant Hearts 2, which was a game about war that we did with Ubisoft. And lastly, starting this year, I became an associate lead programmer on a not yet announced game. And I'm also the team leader for the shared tech team. I'm not like the chief of this team. I'm more like a producer, and we discuss and have and choose which tool will be used on different projects and how we can mutualize our technology. And I'm currently working on Critical Path. You can find it on Steam, and it will be out at the end of the year. To present you a bit about, to talk about old school games, we are mostly doing mobile game like Ready Rose, SpongeBob, Tiny Worlds. We also work with Microid, for example, for My Cooking Star Restaurant, with Nickelodeon for Nick Extreme Tennis, Valiant Hearts 2, and also the game I talked just before, Critical Path, which is now out as a demo on Steam. And to go a bit deeper into the companies, in 2023 we were working on 4 games. 3 were mobile, 1 was multi-platform, cross-platform. We are a team of 70 people. I think now we are more around like 75, something like that. And we have 4 teams. 2 of them are with 20 people, and 2 of them are with 10 people, depending on the state of the game. And we have 10 office management, HR people, and so on. And to talk a bit more about the tech team, we are 12 people. Plus a manager. We are 3 tools programmer, but there is only one who works as a tool programmer at 100%, because me and the other colleague are doing everything that gameplay programmers don't like. We have 5 gameplay programmer and we have 4 system programmer. And I talk about this because my point is to show you that we don't have a large workforce of programmer, and we have to make choice to do the minimum of work, but to accomplish the maximum of content. So when we talk about tools, our producer and game director are always having cold feet, because when we are doing tools, they don't see immediate results. So we have to make some choice. And this is why we have a shared tech team to do those choices. So, my talk, I will talk about 4 problems that we have when doing games. Those are general problems that I think you can find in every type of game, and I'll show you one solution that we had. And this is a talk that will be about, there will be some code, there will be some deep dive into how Unity works, there will be some insight at how we choose how to make tools, how we design them, and there will be some architectural idea to implement a tool and how they can be used on different projects at the same time. So, starting with improving the flow in Unity. So when I'm talking about flow, I'm talking when someone is working on the Unity editor, he wants to work fast. He doesn't want to lose time doing redundant tasks. He wants to, if you want just to play the game, you just want to easily access the right scene and to launch it, and he wants to play. So that's the problem we have, and we have most of our team that works directly in Unity, because artists work in Unity, level designer work in Unity, designer works in Unity, programmers works in Unity. So it's a problem that will impact every department of the company. So this is Valiant Art, the game we did now 2 years ago. This is the basics Unity editor, and I want to show you two problems we had. The first one was accessing scenes. You can see in the hierarchies that we have many scenes to open at the same time. We have long scene names, so you have to remember what is the name of the scene you want to open and stuff like that. And meaning it's also mean that if you're an artist, you have to know how the project is built to find where the scenes are, and it was a really long process, and people didn't like to have to go through all scenes in the project. And one other problem we had, it's this little tool on the far right side called the time editor. It was just a tool to change at runtime the time scale. It helps getting faster to specific area or gameplay or feature, stuff like that. But it takes a lot of space on the Unity editor. This is what we call lost space, because we don't do much with the space. And there was also another problem. This tool was not customizable, meaning that, for example, you see that I have 6 predetermined time scale, 0.1, 0.51, and so on. And they were the same for everyone. But me, I work as a programmer. I just want to have this time scale of 1, but maybe the QA team want to have a different time scale. So we have those two problems. And what we did is we moved them to the top bar. This is something you can do in Unity. You can access this toolbar and you can add any tool you want, and it helps us to reduce the amount of space needed for your different tool, and it gives the same access for some common tool you have to use. Here, for example, the other project is Critical Path, and you have the general access for every scene in the game, and you also have a time editor which you can access at runtime. So to go deeper into how we managed to do it, Unity is using a UI toolkit to build its own UI, and so I just open UI toolkit, check the toolbar, and to see okay, where can I plug my code, where can I go into this. And if you look at this picture, you see that there is 3 zones in the area in the toolbar. There is the left, the middle, and the right. So what I did is that I get them back. You can find them using just simple code to access the toolbar type, because this is defined in Unity. So you type like editor point toolbar, and you have the access to the type of the toolbar. Then it's just simply accessing the visual element of the toolbar. And so what I did is I register myself on the callback that was calling the onGUI callback for the left area and the right area. You can see those light at the bottom, and I just had to match the name of the visual element to access it from my code. And to go a bit deeper into the register callback function, I just create an element. This visual element is added to the left or right side, and inside this element I added what's called an ImGUI container, and it allows me to use the native ImGUI stuff, and I can do any kind of code I want. Small disclaimer: at the moment, Unity uses 2 technology. UI toolkit, which he used to build every tool Unity provide, and the old stuff called ImGUI. You can, in visual element, have an ImGUI container, but in ImGUI you cannot use UI toolkit. So it goes only one way. I hope they'll fix it, because they don't give enough tool to people to build UI easily. Well, so now, what happened in Unity? We have this drop-down menu. You can access any scene. You can add favorite scene. You can create group of scenes. Group of scene can be created by programmer and shared to the rest of the team. And now I just have to select my scene. So we fixed the first problem. We have now one single entry point for the selection of the scenes. And as I said, it's easy to use for any developer because a drop-down is a menu that is known by anyone working on Unity Editor. Quick trick we used to do this drop-down menu. We create one single window and we draw on it the different menu side by side. And just doing this, create this, I don't know if you see it, but there is like a gray rectangle, because when you create a window on the Unity editor, it will have a default background that you cannot remove. Every window in the Unity has a default background. So what we did was before opening the menu, we captured the screen doing using your Unity, what offers Unity Editor. Then we took this screen and we use it as a background. So when people use this tool, they think they have something like really cool and stuff, but it's just one window with a background. And I had at the beginning I had a designer that came up to me and told me, yeah, it's strange because when I have the impression I have to do a double click to open the menu beyond this, and I told him the trick and he laughed and said, okay, well done. So I have also another tool, and in the toolbar, this is the one to change the time scale. And I told you before that we have a problem because we want to have our tool customizable for everyone, because everyone has its own need and stuff like that. So what we did is we created a custom editor pref. You know, in Unity you can register any type of information in what's called the editor pref. So this will be saved only on your computer. So we use it to register a different time scale, so you can access it at your own desire. And to do so, in the code, you just have to add an attribute called editor pref. We have some other parameter you can use to boost it, but I won't go deeper into this. But this is the example for the time scale. We just have what's the mean time, what's the max time, does it display the time slider, does it match the frame rate, the vsync and stuff like that. So as a programmer, we just have to add this into the editor pref, and behind the scene, what we did is to create this custom label, custom attribute, which can have a label, show you GUI, which tells if it will be shown in the default window or not. And we also implemented callback, so you can write your own GUI and not call the default Unity GUI to write any content. And we have, for example, this is the what we did for the toolbar, because the toolbar needed to be a little bit more, have more option to customize your UI. So what we did, we created our own structure which implemented all the variables we need, like the type name, will it be shown or not, and we just drawing it instead of calling the default GUI of Unity. We're drawing our own GUI. And behind the scene, when we save those editor pref, we're just calling the basics editor pref of Unity. So it's like on top of the existing editor pref of Unity, and every script creates an object at the end that is just serialized as a string, and it was really easy for us to do, or something like that. So this is for the toolbar. Now we have another problem. We need to easily access all our assets in the game, because as you know, you will sometimes find yourself with a lot of different assets. And what we did, we create our custom asset browser. It helped us to browse through assets that are most used, that belongs to specific departments, specific. For example, this is critical path. We have different biomes, so you can sort your items by biomes. And it was easier for us to have this than to teach the custom filtering of Unity, because using you can in Unity, if you have the project window, you can use specific code-like script to tell Unity what you want to get, like what kind of script and stuff like that. But it means that we have to teach artists how to code, and we didn't want to do that because they didn't want to learn code. So we create this basics asset browser to do it. And what we did, we have this in Unity. You can access the asset preview. So this is something Unity gives you access to, and you have two types of asset preview. On the top, you see the default asset preview. If there is a 3D models attached to the object, you have access to it and you can render it, like you see on the top. And if you just want a mini thumbnail, that's what the asset preview is called. You have access to also to this, and it will just render if it's a prefab, if it's a script. So it helps us to have different scale on our asset browser, because there is people that want to have like a tile composition to see all their assets, and there is people that want just to have a list of objects. So we did both way. And this is the two main access to the asset preview. And to do the access browser, one of the need we had was that on some project we have a structure like an episodic game. You have different episodes. On some game you have a biome structure. You work with biome. On some games you want to access only NPC. So what we did is to create an easy structure for developer in every project to implement their own asset browser, so they can like use plugin to implement their own tool. For example, in the base program we have the prefab browser tools that will just show you every prefab in the game. But for critical path, for the level designer, we used a module system. So we create a specific module swapper tool that allowed the level designer to select a module in the scene and to see all the variants of this module. We also used a lot of the labels in Unity. I don't know if you know it, but Unity comes with a default, a native label system. Yeah, Unity comes with a default label system. You can add any label to the asset of your project, and you can use it in code. For example, here we use this is like a default module in one of the biomes. It has two label, one that says ground because you can walk on it, and one that says it's Dedal because it's the name of this specific biomes. The first biome is called Dedal. And in our own asset browser, we can use it to filter our prefabs. So when the level designer works, for example, in the first biome, they can just add the label Dedal and they see only the item for the first biomes. The prefab asset browser will have the task to load all the assets of the game. So it will take some time when you first open the tool, because it will go through every assets, pre-filter them, check their asset preview and stuff like that. So once the tool is open, it's really easy to drag and drop stuff in the scene. You don't have wait time and loading time. We also scan at this moment. Once we have loaded the asset, we scan the labels on the object, so we have access to this kind of data. And this is for the asset preview. We had another problem, which as we are small teams, we tend to work in our specific department without sharing our assets or game object. So, for example, when an artist works on each side of the scene, there is only art object, and when a level designer working on each side of the scene, there is only level object and stuff like that. Sound is also separated and so on. But when you open a scene, there is no clear distinction about is it an art object, is it a sound object, of stuff like that. And when I first wrote this slide, I wrote that having a good naming convention does not fix the problem. I would even say that having any kind of naming convention, I think you talked about it this morning, will solve the problem of finding your own object, because naming convention will change throughout the project. It will impact. It will solve depending on the naming convention you use. It solves different kind of problem. For example, the art team tends to have long naming convention because they want to classify automatically their object in different folder and stuff like that. But for example, the designer like to have short names because they want to easily find any object they use and stuff like that. So we could not use naming convention to have something to help visualize what belongs to whom. So what we did is that we changed the hierarchy window to display information like colors, like you can add icons. You can also check to enable or disable the object directly from the hierarchy. And you, as I said, you have customizable colors. You can have, for example, now the level designer tends to use red, the artist team tends to use green, and once you're in the scene, you immediately know, okay, this is part of the art scene. I don't touch it because I'm a programmer. This is part of the sounds and stuff like that. We also add headers. So we have, we can like tidy up our hierarchy and have something more readable. And we have alternative background because some people had difficulties to read line by line. And one of the main problem was to have no overhead when you build a game, because before starting this tool, we searched on the asset store, and most of the tool we found had overhead. So when you had a color to any object in the hierarchy, the color would end up in the final product, which was of no use for the game. So we found solution to don't add overhead when you build a game. One interesting aspect of doing color in video games, when I was working on this tool, I think the tool was out about a month ago, and my manager came to me. We talked a little bit about the tool on itself, and I told him something like, look at this red part and something like that, and he came back to me and he said, but I'm colorblind, so you can talk about red, but I don't see red anywhere. And at the start of this tool, there was like pre-made colors for everyone, but now you can switch to have like colorblind mode. So even when working together in a team, you see what we want to show you. I'll show you how to access the hierarchy, because I think this is a neat trick, because you can add any information in the hierarchy if you want to. The editor application come with callback when it draw any item on the hierarchy. You just have to plug yourself into it to write to draw what you want on the screen. And the main function we have is the handle hierarchy. you receive the instance ID of the object in the scene, and from that we do the alternative background, the header, the highlight. If you have the mouse over it, we highlight it. I said before, there is toggle button to enable, disable it. We have some prefab overlay. If you want to have a specific color for prefab, you can have it. We have, I don't know if you've seen it, but on the left side there is like a tree view. It's also on this part, and everything that is drawn on the hierarchy, it's just made in this function. And if any project wants to add its own information, debug data and stuff like that, they can plug themselves in this function and add their own variables. And I also want to show you another trick, because when working in this project, we didn't want to have another tool just to set up the colors of the hierarchy. We wanted to have everything in the hierarchy, and you can inject yourself in the hierarchy of of Unity. And to do so, you just have to create a function with an attribute called menu item, and you have to give it the correct path. And to write anything in the hierarchy windows, you have to access this from GameObject / hierarchy /, and you can write whatever you want. And you can also write like condition function to say, will I display this item or not? And for example, to set the color, we must have an object. So if the user doesn't select an object, we don't display this function in the menu. And I want to show you this website. This is called Foundation. It's made by Unity, and it's the Bible that tells you how they made their own UI. So they will tell you color code. They will give you insight of how they made some tools. They will give you on information about the drawing order on specific tools. So if you read the Unity Foundation, you will be able to make tools that fit the Unity UI template and stuff like that. So if you do tools, go on this website and read it. You will improve your tool. Finally, we had a last problem, is that we need to create a lot of content like in any game, and we like to do it fast. So if we do it fast, we need a tool. But I said before that we don't have much, we don't even have one tool programmer per project. So we have to find some tools to create content that we can share on different projects. One of them is the Quest editor. 1 year ago, we started to do Quest in 2 different games. So we made one single object, one single tool to do all the quests throughout both of those games, and now the other 2 games are also using the Quest editor. The Quest editor for the critical path also handles dialogues, bugs, and stuff like that. This is now, it has been renamed narration tool because it handles everything linked to the narration of the game, and it gives the user an easy flow to create quest. And we use what Unity gave us. It means that Unity now has something called GraphView, which you can use. It was experimental until last year. Now it's in the default code of the Unity editor, and you can, with that, create a graph view. It's like the graph view contains the space in which you will draw your graph, and then you can create nodes to populate your graph view. And this is not visual scripting. This is only a tool to build graph. So we don't have the problem of having performance issue because we have to traverse to reinterpret the code that was scripted or something like that. This is just a tool to create quest, and behind the scene there is only a script. This is only a scriptable object that contains all the information for a quest. And we also added support for runtime debugging, because when working on huge, I don't show you this the whole quest, but there is like 200 nodes in this quest. It's hard to debug. It's hard to debug for the designer that built the game. This is hard to debug when you have something that broke in the middle of your quest. So we added runtime information. You have I don't know if you've seen it, but there is a blinking light. If the node has been activated, this turns green to show you where you are at in the current stage of this quest. And to do so, we use trackers. So I showed you before we have our nodes that just contain the information displayed on the screen, and we use a tracker to track different information about it. We have the default tracker, for example, when we need to clear a room, because when this is a hog, so when you enter the room, you need to kill all the enemies before exiting the room, and we have to track. We want to track when this happens. And so we have just a tracker for the gameplay part of the quest. This is this tracker, and we also have another tracker. We also have another tracker, which is the debugger tracker. It helps us to check what's the status of the node. Whatever there is a log that is being sent to this specific node, whatever there is a bug that has been triggered from this node, and we can track it from the tool itself. So if you're curious, start using GraphView of Unity. For those who knows about other solutions like Node Canvas, we use it in precedent game, but sadly it was too. Well, I'll tell you this because this is more sharing information. This is not part of the talk. But we used Node Canvas, and Node Canvas had many issues, like it used a lot of reflection, and in C# using reflection caused a lot of performance issue. It was hard to maintain. Even though we were in contact with the guy developing Node Canvas, we felt that we needed to build our own solution because it gave us more control of how the tool would work and how we can develop it, because at the start it was only a quest tool, but now you can do achievement with this. We can do AI with it. You can do full dialogues with it, and it's fully customizable depending on which project you have. You are okay. So to sum it up, because in what I show you, all those tools were made in the span of a year and a year and a half, something like that. And this is the game we made 2 years ago. There was no customization. Everyone has to know by heart how Unity works. They had to know how the project was made. They had to know the architecture of the folder and stuff like that. And by doing all those tools, you now have fully customized Unity editors. Those tools are used on every project. So when you switch project, you can use the same tool. And this is what we learned the past 2 years, is that even though your project changed, and that was our original problem, is that our project changed, so our need change, the people doesn't change. So you make the tool for the people because they can use it. The team will never change, and they can grow with the tool they're using. And this is why we create those tools that will grow with our teams and hopefully make their life easier. So thank you all for listening.